skyscrapers of this great modern metropolis were blurred, smudged into a sort of timelessness, seemed of no particular period at this moment, inchoate images cast against that almost violet sky. Alexandra smiled, for as far back as she could remember, she had believed that this time of day was magical. In the movie business, which she was occasionally a part of these days, dusk was actually called the magic hour. Wasn't it odd that she herself had named it that when she was only a child? Staring out across the skyline, fragments of her childhood came rushing back to her. For a moment, she fell down into her memories of the years spent growing up on the Upper East Side of this city, of a childhood filled with love and security and the most wondrous of times. Even though their mother had worked, still worked in fact, she and Tim had never been neglected by her nor by their father. But it was her mother who was the best part of her, and in more than one sense she was the product of her mother. And not a bad product at that, she thought, continuing to stand in front of the picture window, lost in remembrances of times past. Eventually she roused herself and went back to the drawing board, looked at the panel she had just completed. It was the final one in a series of 6, and together they composed a winter landscape in the countryside. She knew she had captured most effectively the essence of a cold, snowy evening in the woods, and bending forward, she picked up the panel and carried it to the other side of the studio, placed it on a wide viewing shelf where the rest of the panels were aligned. Staring intently at the almost complete set, she envisioned them as a giant-sized backdrop on the stage, which is what they would soon become. As far as she was concerned, the panels were arresting and depicted exactly what the director had requested. "I want to experience the cold, Alexa," Tony Verity had told her at the first production meeting, after he had taken her through the play. "I want to shiver with cold, crunch down into my overcoat, feel the icy night in my bones. Your sets must make me want to rush indoors, to be in front of a roaring fire." He will feel all that, she told herself, and stepped back, eyeing her latest work from a distance, objectively, her head on one side, thinking of the way she had created the panels in her imagination first. She had envisioned St. Petersburg in winter, and then focused on an imaginary forest beyond that city. In her mind's eye, the scenery had come alive, almost like a reel of film playing in her head. Bare trees glistening with dripping icicles, drifts of new snow sweeping up between the trees like white dunes, white nights, white sky, white moon, white silence. That was the mood she sought, had striven for, and wished to convey to the audience, and she believed she had accomplished that with these panels, which would be photographed later this week and then blown up for the stage. She had not used any other colors except a hint of gray and black for a few of the skeletal branches. Her final touch, and perhaps her most imaginative, had been a set of lone footprints in the snow. Footprints leading up between the trees as if heading for a special, perhaps even secret destination. Enigmatic, mysterious, even troubling in a way. The sharp buzzing of the doorbell brought her head up sharply, and her concentration was broken. She went to the intercom on the wall, lifted the phone. "Hello?"
"It's Jack. I know I'm early. Can I come up?"
"Yes, it's okay." She pressed the button which released the street door, and then ran downstairs to the floor below in order to let him in. A few seconds later, Jack Wilton, bundled up in a black duffel coat and carrying a large brown shopping bag, was swinging out of the lift, walking towards her down the corridor, a grin on his keen, intelligent face.
"Sorry if I'm mucking up your working day, but I was around the corner, at the Chroma Gallery with Billy Tompkins.